Seriously, now we're going to get to see some cars. Hey. Of course, we've got the Sporting Bears coming up on stage, and we've got a beautiful little collection of cars. I'll just see if the team are almost ready, which they are. We can get our first driver in his car, and we get him lined up. I'm now going to move these stalls out of the way, so give me a second. I'm going to go the other way with the curtain. Right, now let me tell you a little bit about the Sporting Bears. I'm going to repeat myself, and could I get my orange fleece and my thing? I'm just going to repeat myself a little bit because the Sporting Bears is a charity that's very dear to my heart. For me to take part as the patron of the Sporting Bears, I need to be wearing the correct garb for this. Very good, Alan. Alan found one that fits me. Don't worry, it's only got one X in it. Hasn't got two of them. Look at that. So now I'm officially a Sporting Bear. Where's my little thing? Look at this. Look what they did to me this morning. How nice is that, ladies and gentlemen? Mike Brewer, the patron of Sporting Bears. Nice? So it's my job to make sure we raise as much money as we possibly can over this weekend for these amazing people. So let me tell you what these heroes look like. These heroes look a little bit like me at the moment. These are the orange fleece people that you'll see all around the NEC. If you see one, okay, do this. It's really simple. If you see an orange fleece person, hug them. Give them a hug. Make it awkward if you like. Go for 5 seconds longer than it should do, just to make it feel a little bit awkward. Give them a hug, because these people have given up their time, they've given up their cars, they've given up their fuel, their polish, they put themselves in hotels, they're feeding themselves, they're walking themselves. Lots of them have taken time off of work to come and do this, and they don't ask for a single penny for themselves, nothing for themselves, nothing for the petrol, nothing. Every single penny raised goes into a pot and it gets distributed between children's charities. Over the years, I don't know if I'm going to get this right, ready? Over the years, they've raised £2.4 million. And do you know how they've done it? They've turned up at a car show. That's how they've done it. They've turned up at a car show and they put their cars in front of people and said, have a go. Just have a go in my car. Pay me tenner. Pay me 15 quid. Pay me 20 quid. Pay me 25 quid, depending on the car. Go for a drive. Take a picture. Take a video as you're driving around the streets of Birmingham. Enjoy yourself. You're coming to a car show and seeing cars but getting the chance to drive them. And they've raised all that money by just putting smiles on people's faces. So let's meet the first car. I can't wait to talk about this one because I'm starting to build myself a rather extensive collection of these. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage. This is Andrew Baker, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause.
Hallelujah, 'cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Hold the microphone, Andrew. This is the way this is going to work. You're going to say, hello, everyone.
Hello.
And everyone's going to go, hello, Andrew. Hello. That was a nice little friendly handshake between the two of you. Now, Andrew, the last thing that people want to see is two Oompa Loompas like us standing in front of one of the most beautifully designed cars ever, which is your beautiful, stunning 993 Targa. So come and stand here and make us all bloody jealous and tell us about your car, because seriously, this is my wheelhouse. I love this car, so tell us about it.
Well, this is a 1996 993 Targa. I've had it for 15 years.
Nice.
In that time, it's been off the road for 8 years.
Yep.
And recommissioned last year, all new running gear underneath, new brakes, new suspension, everything. Drives like new again. And I just love it.
Yeah, fantastic car. This is really probably the most sought after last of the air-cooled 911s ever. These cars are being picked up for huge sums of money all over the world at the moment. Their rise in ascent in popularity is second to none. People have switched on to just how good these cars are and how good the engineering was back then. Remember, this car is lightweight for a number of reasons. It doesn't have any cooling system, it doesn't have a radiator weighing it down or a big tank of water that you need to keep it cool. Absolutely exquisite car to run and drive. And for a Porsche fan and a Porsche enthusiast, particularly of this generation, this is an analog Porsche. It's not like one of the new digital Porsches that's got computers, traction control to keep you on the road. This car should not make any sense whatsoever. The reason why is because you're in the perfect position. The engine, which weighs about 3/4 of a ton, is here. It's hanging out over the rear axle. And if you was to design a car today and put the engine hanging out over the rear axle, it simply wouldn't work. But because Porsche have got 70 years since Ferdinand Porsche come up with this sort of concept, because he's got that engineering background, they've engineered this car in a state that you can drive a car with the engine hanging out over the rear. And I hope you don't mind me doing this for a second, Alan. I'm going to come down here because I think the best view of this car is from where you're sitting. And that, oh yes. See, now to me, that's one of the most eloquently and beautifully designed cars in existence. It really is. It's just perfect, that car. The proportions are lovely. It looks amazing. I'm incredibly jealous of your 993 Targa.
Thanks.
But now I want to know, if I wanted to go in this car, well, first of all, what do we think the value is?
It's insured for 50,000.
50 grand car, right.
Which isn't bad.
It isn't bad.
I paid 30 for it.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Right, so it's a 50 grand car. How fast does it go from 0 to 60?
About 6 seconds.
Right, so 6 seconds to 60 miles an hour. And no doubt, if somebody was to have a drive with you today, they would experience the 6-second sprint to 60 miles an hour.
As long as it stays dry.
There is nothing in the law, there is a law in the eyes of the Britain. We all know the law. The law says the speed limit on a road is, say, 30. When there's 3 lampposts or more, speed limit is 30. There is nothing in the law that says how fast you can get to 30. You can get to 30 as fast as you like. You can get there as quick as you want to. If it's 60, the speed limit on a road around Birmingham, and you'll find a 60 round here, nothing in the law that says how quickly you can get to the 60. So your experience 0 to 60 in this 993 Targa. How much would it cost for me? How long's the drive, first of all? How long are we going to go for?
We're going to go for 10 miles, about 20 minutes, something like that, depending on traffic.
10 miles, 20 minutes, with your phone in your hand, Instagramming it to all your friends, making them jealous. How much would it cost me to have a go for 10 miles in your 993?
£35.
35 quid.
I'll see you later.
35 quid. That's the price of a burger and a can of Coke here at the NEC. True, isn't it? Hey, it's the price of a burger and a can of Coke. And I think I know what I'd rather do. I'd rather go out in that. And of that £35, how much of that money are you going to siphon off for yourself, put in your pocket, pay for your fuel, the hotel accommodation? How much?
None of it.
Exactly. That's why when you see one, you hug them. So do we love this man or do we love this man? Of course we love him. Ladies and gentlemen, £35. Make sure you press your nose up against the railings in this hall. Over there where you see the big sign, Sporting Pairs Dream Rides. Go and seek out Alan and say, I want to go in that 993 for 35 quid, because I heard you say it on stage. And I did say it right, Andrew, sorry. And you, that's Alan, and you, there's a lot of people up here, and you will have an experience of a lifetime. So give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Let's see this car leave the stage. Let me get out of the way. I just want to see it move. Everyone loves these in the motor trade at the moment. The 993 air-cooled is an analog car, not a digital car. Sounds incredible. That flat six hanging out over the rear axle. Fantastic. Top work, Andrew. Okay, the next car up on stage is one of my all-time favourites. I think all cars are my favourites. Let me make sure I get this one right. Steve. You're going to have to say your surname, Steve.
Ormeron.
Ormeron. Your mate, it sounds like an alien. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve! I can see Steve's already been out this morning. You look like you've already been out and had a little run.
No, came down from Cumbria yesterday.
Did you? In that awful weather, yeah, the monsoon. Yeah, my daughter left work early yesterday in Sheffield, and she shops in Meadow Hall Shopping Centre on a Thursday night. And she left at 1. I said, leave, because there's a storm coming. And people had to sleep in Meadow Hall Shopping Centre last night because the car park flooded. So fortunately, she escaped it. Now, me and you are standing in the wrong place.
Okay.
I want you to go and stand over here because you put your car here. Right. First of all, say hello to everyone.
Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Whoa. Say hello to everyone.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show.
Now everyone say hello back. There you go, that's the way that works. Nice little friendly handshake. So then Steve, huge fan of Austin Healey 3000s. I've done one on my show, I've done a BJ7 Mark III. Absolutely exquisite car. It's the quintessential British sports car. But tell me all about your one. Why should I ever drive in your car?
So it's 1966 Healey 3000 Mark III Phase 2, one of the last later ones made. It's just a usable British sports car. It will cruise at 80 miles an hour all day. It will go up to about 120, 125.
Not today, we won't be doing
Not today, but if you're on a track or...
If you're on a track, 125 miles an hour, but you even said you can cruise at 80.
It will cruise all day at 80.
Really? Do you know the speed limit in this country?
I do.
How many points you got on your licence, Steve?
I go to Austria regularly, so I drive through Germany.
Oh right, so there you go, 80 miles an hour at cruise quite happily. Good escape, wasn't that good? Very good. Now, what makes these cars so special is your connectivity with the countryside when you're driving a Healey, because the Healey has got a very low swage line out the side, and you can't help but drive it with your arm on the windowsill, which connects you to the outside world. There's something charming about being behind that hairy-chested Brit. It's got that huge, great big 3-litre engine up front with that big, massive steering wheel in your hand. It's just such a wonderful drive. Being a hairy-chested Brit, it's sort of the Simon Cowell of cars. I know it's nasty, isn't it? But it sort of is, because it's got a big gaping face. Lots of them have gone through a lot of plastic surgery to get them back on the road and in this state. And it's nice, it's got that big 3-litre proud engine that sticks up the front. I love these cars, I really do. And if I wanted to have a drive in any car today, it's likely to be your Healey, sir,
okay.
because I'd like to be connected to the outside world. How much would it cost me to go around Birmingham in that today?
That's just £25.
No way! 25 quid! It's a bag of crisps here, 25 quid. It's a bag of crisps, and if you ask them for a cup of water, they'll charge you 20 quid just for a cup of water at the NEC. Have you just bought that here? I was going to say, that's a mortgage. If you've got a sandwich from the NEC, you just had a little...
That's why we're international.
Yeah, never do that. Bring your food along. Nobody can afford to eat here. That's fantastic. 25 quid.
£25.
£25 and get a 10-mile drive around the streets of Birmingham, and you're going to put every single penny of that into children's charities.
Every penny the Bears rides that goes over the counter goes to the charities.
That's why we love them. That's why we love them. Give them a big round of applause, and let's watch this Healey leave the stage. Well done, Steve. Absolutely beautiful car. I love that colour as well. That colour combination, beautiful. Sounds great as well, listen to that. Cool, eh? Like that? Anyone here tempted to ever go in that? Any hands? Can I see somebody tempted? Just make it up. Just make feel, there you go, good. Just to make them feel good. Okay, now we're very privileged. This car's going to be here all weekend. It's the first time you're going to get to see it with the public eyes, because it looks old, but actually it's brand fire new. And we're very, very fortunate to have it here. Please welcome James Lewis Barrard. He works at Morgan Motor Company, and this is the brand new Morgan Plus 6, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that! From one iconic British sports car to another. Nice. Oh, look at that inside. That's a bit sumptuous, isn't it? Nice to meet you. So how did I say your name? Did I say it right?
Lewis Barnard.
Barnard.
Close enough.
God, it looks like Barrard, doesn't it? It doesn't look like two R's. Barnard. Nice to meet you, Lewis. James, sorry, let's get it right. James, so this is the way this is going to work. James, hold the microphone. Everyone here, let's reverse this. Everyone say, hello, James.
Hello, James.
James, say hello back.
Hello everyone.
Right, James, come and stand to one side. Tell people how lucky you are, because you work for one of the best motoring companies, British motoring companies, still going strong today, Morgan.
Yeah, I'm incredibly lucky to work here. It's a bit of a dream come true, really. It doesn't feel like I'm at work sometimes.
Lovely, lovely. So what do you do for the company?
I work in the marketing department.
Right, so you
so-
get to do all the good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. It's my job just to drive these around, make people aware of them, and answer their questions.
You lucky
Yeah.
so-and-so. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. You lucky so-and-so. So tell us about the Plus 6, because first and foremost, it's a lot wider than previous cars. which is handy for the likes of me. So tell us about the Plus 6.
Yeah, so you touched on one thing. We wanted to make it more accessible to everyone. So it has more width, more length, taller people. Everyone can fit in this car. It looks very similar to Morgan's produced, for the last 70 plus years. It's got the iconic silhouette, but underneath it's all new. So there's an all aluminium bonded platform. So the chassis is similar to a Lotus Elise.
Yep.
Which means it's incredibly lightweight. The whole car is just over a ton.
Yep.
The engine is a BMW straight 6 turbocharged engine.
Yep.
So it's the same engine you'll find in a BMW M140i, Toyota Supra, BMW Z4, but obviously in a car that's about half a ton lighter. So
that's incredible.
yeah, you can imagine what kind of performance that gives it.
Yeah, just nuts. I would imagine it just pulls your wig off if you're driving it with the roof on.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. And what's the engine?
So it's called the BMW B58 engine.
B58 engine, right, from BMW. So
Yeah.
that's the quick one.
It's the quick one, so 335 horsepower.
335 horsepower in a car that weighs the same as a dry J-Class.
That's it. And no traction control, no stability control. So you're left to your own devices as a driver, so a true driver's car.
Fantastic. And how many are they going to be producing of these a year?
So obviously that depends on demand. In total we're producing around 800 cars a year, but across various different models. So but this is our flagship at the moment.
Good. Right, can I ask the price list of one of these brand new?
Yeah, this is 77,995.
77,995. I love it.
Yeah.
Proper car dealer. 77,995. Step into the office, we'll sort it out once a month. Isn't that lovely? I absolutely love that. I think it looks fantastic. Obviously, you've had some fun in it this morning.
Yeah, so we've already done one passenger ride this morning.
How did that go?
Yeah,
Passenger
really
ride?
well. The guy loved it. He's coming down to test drive one.
So this car's going to be here all weekend, and it's true that these people here are likely to be some of the first in the world to get to see this car and have a go in it publicly.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So it was only unveiled at Geneva. First time it was seen moving was at Goodwood in the summer. So yeah, only a few months this car's been on the road.
So that's a really special moment for people here at the NEC. If you want to have a go in this, it's the first time you can really test drive one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So
brilliant.
Yeah, one of the first times these cars have been on the road.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, so is Morgan going to be keeping the money that you raise for taking people for a drive? Are you keeping any of that money?
No, of course
not.
not.
Are they using that money to put you in a hotel room?
Only a bit. No, not really.
Nothing?
All goes to charity.
Have you got a corporate card so you can spend a little bit of money in the hotel?
Unfortunately not.
Because we're all going to come and hang with you tonight.
No,
You're
we're
the only person here that works for a manufacturer.
Well, we're only down the road in Malvern, so we're only about
So we're
40
all
minutes
invited
away.
down to Malvern.
We'll even come for a factory tour.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
Sorry, James. I do apologise. So tell us, how much is it going to cost us to have a go around the streets of Birmingham in this?
This is £30. And for that you get
30 quid?
Yeah.
Right, to have a go in basically a car that nobody else has got a chance to go in before, and you're only asking 30 quid?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a chance to drive in the latest Morgan Plus 6, this is a car that's brand new to the market. It's only been seen at the Geneva Motor Show as a reveal. Then it was first driven up the hill at Goodwood, moving. But now, just a month or two later, you can actually have a go in it yourself. Sit in the passenger seat next to this young man, and he can give you the thrill ride of your life for 30 quid. And every single penny of that money goes in the hands of needy charities for children. And that's why we love people like this, and we love manufacturer support. That's really important for us at the NEC, and very important for us at Sporting Bears, and we really appreciate
it's
it.
an honour to be here, and it's great for us to get the car out in the public. So yeah, come have a ride in it.
Lovely. And you'll find James over at the Sporting Bears in this hall over in the corner, so make sure you go and see him. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. How cool was that? Eh? How cool is that? Underneath, basically, that is a modern sort of BMW underneath, but wrapped up in a beautiful British body shell. Still looks iconic. There's a little quirk about Morgans. You can drive that off. A little quirk about Morgans. Not a lot of people know this. They are the least depreciating car in the United Kingdom. The least depreciating car. You buy a Morgan now for 25 grand, a second-hand Morgan, drive it for the next 5 years, put a few thousand miles on it, take it to car shows. Guess what? You'll sell it for 25 grand. Weird. That's the way the Morgan market is. They're really good. It's like parking money. It's not only in a car, you're just parking the money and having fun with it. They're brilliant cars. Okay, last but not least, one of my favourite ever cars. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for John Redshaw and his amazing little Austin 7! John, how are you, dear boy? Good to see you again. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello, John!
Hello, John.
John, say hello back!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, so now John has got this little Austin 7. You can see a car not built for my frame or size. This car was built for people of a particular size and to deck, I'd like to say, not me or John. So John, tell us a little bit about the histrionics of the car. Come stand this way so we're not in the way. You can take a picture. Tell us a bit about the car, where you got it, how long you've had it.
Okay, it's been in the family now for 18 years. It was my late wife's car. It was the third Austin 7 that she had. We bought her 18 years ago, more or less in this condition. The only thing of any consequence I've had to do, apart from putting in oil and petrol, is she was rewired and actually had brake lights fitted because they weren't standard when she was first launched in 1932. So it's an RN box saloon. Austin 7s, you may know, come in various shapes and sizes. They made around 300,000 altogether. And the DVLA are aware now of just under 3,000, which still exist in the UK.
That is fantastic, isn't that good? Hey, give him a microphone, wind him up, but off he goes. And gives you a nice little bit of history. Am I right in saying, John, is this the same car that at one point here on the stage, this was the car that was the trip over for £1 million raised by the Sporting Bears?
I think you may well be right.
Yeah, so it's about a few years ago, up here at the NEC, this is the £1 million car. What it meant is Sporting Bears have been raising money for years, and when this car went out for a run, it raised, how much was it for a run?
Then it was £20.
20 quid,
yeah.
And it just made £1 million, so that was the £1 million car.
Yeah.
And here it is, many years later, still doing a fantastic service for the Sporting Bears.
Yeah, we've raised over 2 million now. I'm sorry,
2.4.
2.4, and we're hoping this year to tip over £2.5 million.
I'm sure we will. We'll do it this weekend at the NEC with us lot. We will.
With your help.
Yes, of course we will. So tell us, John, for you, and this is the last chance I'm going to get to do this. Tell us about the Sporting Bears. Tell us about these people and why these people are so special.
Right, you're very special if you have a ride in a Sporting Bears car, of course. We use your money and give it 100% to children's charities only. The reason that you should come in this car is because A, it's quite cheap, and B, I can get 3 passengers in it. So it's tremendous. It's the best value for money car that we have on display today.
And how much is it for a run round Birmingham with 3 passengers?
£25.
25 quid! 25 quid for a ride in an Austin 7! That's absolutely incredible.
That's just over £8 each.
£8 each is brilliant, eh? That wouldn't even get you that sandwich here at the NEC, 8 quid each. So make sure you press your nose up against the railings down there. Go and seek out John, go and seek out any of these people with these wonderful orange fleeces on. Give them a wave, give them a hug. Even if you don't want to go and ride in a car, just tell them how much you appreciate what they are doing. It really means the world to us at the Sporting Bears. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, what can we say? With me, and I know the audience here, we want to show our appreciation to you, the Sporting Bears, for everything you've done over the years for children's charities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you, thank you to Alan and the organising team behind us. Absolutely incredible. Have a fantastic bloody day and raise a ton of money. Raise a ton of money. Make sure you go over and see those guys. They do an amazing thing. As we say, every penny goes to children's charities, none goes in their pocket. And it's just exceptional that you get to ride around in cars. Look at that way that started up. And as it leaves the stage, watch. Absolutely exquisite. Lovely. Look at that, isn't that just charming? Absolutely wonderful. So make sure you go and find out people like that. Right, I'm going to be back on stage in, I do believe in Leslie's ready to go. You ready to go, John? You are? Right, don't panic. I'm going to be bringing up a very good friend of mine on stage right now, so don't move, because this is one of the original producers of very famous Top Gear. You're going to recognise him from the